This conference will now be recorded.
So let us log into our account. So now let us log into. Do you guys have any questions on previous topic? Any questions on previous topic? Okay. Let us log into our account. So in the previous class we talk about creating an app, and then we talk about what are the standard objects are available for Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, right? Correct. We talk about what are the standard objects are available for Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. Okay, correct.
Yes.
So today what we'll do, according to project, according to project, according to project. Okay, so we'll try to understand what type of standard objects and what type of custom objects has to be used. Okay, according to project, what kind of standard objects and custom objects that we have to use. So now, so as we know, what a if a company want to use Sales Cloud, they must use campaign, lead, account, contact, and opportunity, right? Those records are mandatory. Now, apart from this, we can also use some custom objects. Okay. Now, if we go to Object Manager and go to Setup, go to Object Manager. Mhm. So here we have a lot of objects, right? Correct. So now, on which basis we will decide what kind of object that we can use means, okay, as long as if it is able to generate a record, as long as if it is able to generate a record, so we can consider that particular thing as a object. If we go here, okay, so what do you mean by object? As we know, so the data gets stored in a database in a form of object, right? What do you mean by object? It's nothing but a record table only, right? So table is nothing but collection of records. Now, what do you mean by record? The combination of rows and columns. The combination of rows and columns is nothing but record. And the number of record forms the object. Number of objects forms the database. So if I want to consider something as a custom object, if I want to consider something as a custom object means, and that object if I want to use in the my project means, it should be able to generate a record. Okay, it should be able to generate a record. Okay, it should be able to generate a record. Okay. So what do you mean by record? If you want to something consider as an object means, as a table means, it should be able to generate a record. Now what do you mean by record? The combination of rows and columns. So if I want to consider something as a custom object means, it should be able to define some fields. Nothing, columns are nothing but fields only, right? If we are able to define some fields, and then according to that we will give the data, and then it will generate a record. See, field means this one. If you try to create a record, you have some fields. Okay, okay, you have some fields. Okay, so any of the thing if you want to consider as an object means, if it is able to generate couple of fields, then we can enter the data, then record will be generated. So if you are able to generate a record, then that particular thing we can consider as a object. Okay, so now if we go to project, so we decided we want to use the standard objects called campaign, lead, account, contact, and opportunity. Campaign, lead, account, contact, and opportunity. Okay, campaign, lead, account, contact, and opportunity. Any questions still now? No. Okay. So now how we can decide something as a custom object means, the custom object means, so according to the customer need. So when we are talking with the customer to understand his business model, and from the discussion we will finalize what kind of tables that we have to use apart from the standard. See, whatever we are using, campaign, lead, account, contact, and opportunity, those covers the sales process. And apart from that, if you need some additional table, let's say you want to maintain some card payments. Okay, okay. So payment related, credit card related details you want to make. Okay, so we have a credit card, something. Okay, credit memo means they want to give some credits too. Okay, so you can use this table. If you are not, you can leave it. Okay, so like that, Salesforce given some in general tables which you want to use for payment related, you can use. Okay, price book, maintain. Okay, but apart from that, we decided we want to have this some custom objects called employee, store, product, and bill. So how we decided employee, store, product, bill as a custom object means, so if I want to consider employee as a custom object means, I am going to be maintain the employee details like employee name, designation, qualification, salary, date of birth, email ID, phone number, age, everything I will maintain, right? So I consider employee as a custom object because I'm able to define a couple of fields. Okay. And then store means store name, where it is located, number of people working in the store, all those details. Then product means product name, okay, price of the product, quantity of the product, all those details I want to maintain. So I decided product also as a custom object. Then bill means bill date, bill amount, type of the price of the product, what quantity of the product they purchase, everything I want to maintain. So I decided bill also as an object. See, the only consideration something as a custom object means, it should be able to define a couple of fields, and then according to that I'm able to generate a record. Okay. Now, so whether it is a standard object or custom object, so you can ask me, okay, is it going to be a one time process? Later also can we have some custom objects and add to our project? Yes, we can do that. Okay, later also we can add. Now whether it is a standard object or custom object, okay, if I want to use in the app, whether it's a standard object or custom object, if I want to use, in the app means it should be have some tab, it should have tab. So for standard objects already tabs are there, but for custom objects, in the process of creating an object we can create a tab. Now since the standard object has a tabs, let me add these tables to this app, whatever app that we have. So this process of identifying the standard object and custom object, what type of custom objects and what type of standard objects that we want to use in a project. So this process we will call it as a data modeling. Data modeling. So nothing but in a project, what type of standard table that you are using and what type of custom tables that you are using. So it decides your company data flow. Okay, that is what data modeling. So now, since we have these standard objects available and tabs also available for that, let's try to add those tables to our app. For that, go to setup, just edit the app, and go to app manager. Now go to navigation item. You can move on. So now go back to app and just refresh. And just refresh. It came right. Now let's go ahead and create a custom object. So go back to app. So if you want to create an object, go to object manager. So let me show you the path. If you want to create a custom object, go to setup, go to object manager, create custom object. So now if you see here, okay, so whatever we see the red color, these are the mandatory columns, those we have to fill up. Okay. So I'll give the label means object name. So I'll give the object name as employee. Okay. So whatever the label that we given, same thing has to come in a plural label. I'll give as employees. Okay. Singular plural. Okay. Singular plural. Then does it start with vowel sound? Yes, E is a vowel, right? In English, A, E, I, O, U, S, right? English is a vowel sound. And then, so whatever the label that I given, same thing came in the object name. So label will be visible to user on the navigation bar here. The object name will be understood by the platform. Okay. So description, why we provide this and what needs to enter in the help text. Okay. So this portion also we'll talk later. Okay. Next, allow report, allow track history, allow interact, allow in chat group. Deployment status, it should be deployed. So deployment status means it should be deployed. Deployed means ready to use. In development means the object will be created. The object will be created, but we cannot use that. Okay, means we cannot use means the user cannot be used. So if the user want to have an access to that object means it should be deployed. Okay, then allow for search. I was telling that we need to create a tab, right? So that tab you can create from here. So let's say if I miss the option here not to create a tab, can I create later? Yes, after creating an object also, we can create a tab later. So we'll also see that and then save. So now the object got created and it is will allow you to ask you to create a tab. So select the tab style, any of the style you can, and then next, make it as a default one. Next, uncheck, I want to add to RDR. Now go to fields and relationship. See, remember, whenever we create a custom object, system will create four fields. Okay. Whenever we create a custom object, system will create four fields. Okay. Those are nothing but created by ID, name, last modified by ID. Okay. Created by ID, name, last modified by ID. So remember, whenever we create a custom object, okay, system will create four fields. Those are nothing but created by ID, last modified by ID, and owner ID. Okay, created by ID, last modified by ID, owner ID. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Clear? No questions? Okay. So now let's try to create some other object. Go to Object Manager, create custom object. So I'll go as a products, allow report, allow trackable history, allow inserted group. So since P is not a vowel sound, I have not selected. So you can have a label and plural object name can be different. Okay. So label means it will be visible to the user on the navigation bar here, and object name means the system will understand that object name. Okay. So deployment status, it should be deployed. Okay. Now search. Now we have to save. Save and new means it will create an object and it will allow you to create one more object. Then bills, allow report, allow trackable history, allow insert group, allow search, save. See, whenever you create a custom object, as I told, here also it will create four fields, whatever object may be. And then store object, create custom object, store, source. So remember, whenever we create a custom object, okay, it comes as underscore C. Okay, custom object will come as underscore C, and the custom object you can edit and you can delete anytime. Okay, it will come as underscore C, underscore C. Any questions still now?
No, same system.
Okay, so now we created an object, but if you go to app and just refresh, now we are able to see only employee object. The other objects we are not able to see on the navigation bar. So why means we have to create a tab. We didn't create a tab. See, in the process of creating an object, so we have an option to select a tab, right? But if we miss here, yes, we can create later also. Go to setup and just type in a find box tab tab. Now go to tabs, custom object as, click new. So what is an object? Select and then tab style. Next. Next, select whichever app. So object is not specific to app. So you can access that object from multiple apps. Click new. Next, uncheck. I want to add to RDR. Next, uncheck. Now just refresh. It's not coming, so we can re-log in so that it will show. So when you re-log in, what will happen? So whatever changes that we made on the user profile, whatever changes that we made on the user profile, so when the user re-log in, it shows, because the latest profile will get updated on his user buffer, so that it shows. Okay, came right. Now, now in this object, we have to create a fields. Now, if you go to the object, when you click new to create a record, 1 minute, so now in this object, to store the data, we need to have fields, right? Correct. If you look at, I have only one field, right? When you click new to create a record, we have only one name field, right? Okay. So how to create a fields? Okay. How to create a fields? It depends upon the customer requirement. The process I'll show you. So how to create a field means you go to setup, you go to object manager, go to that particular object where you want to create a field. Okay. Go to that particular object and then fields and relationship, and then click new. So when we click new, it will ask you to select the data type. So what is a data type? Data type is nothing but in the particular field, what type of data that you are going to be entered, it is going to be accept to create to save the data. Means the data type is nothing but see as a user. So when you try to create a record, okay, when you click new to create a record, So whatever the information in the phone, you are trying to enter the phone number, right? Okay. So that is what data type. The particular field, what type of data the system, the user has to enter. So to create a record. That is what data type. So data types are very straightforward. Okay, if you want to enter number, we have a data type number. If you want to enter percentage, we have a data type percentage. If you want to enter phone number, we have a data type called phone. Like that, we have a email, we have a data type email. Date data type. So like that, Salesforce has given different type of data types. Okay, different type of data types. Now, so before we create a field, before we talk about the data types, let's understand what kind of fields that we need to have in this object. Okay. So as I told, it depends upon completely the project. Okay. So when you are working in a project, okay, it depends upon completely your project. Okay. So there is no standard fields that you have to create these fields only. No, it depends upon customer requirement. So what kind of data that he is expecting to store in that particular field. Okay, as an example, if you see, I want to store some information, so I want to have these four fields like product, store, bill, and employee. And in this, what type of data that I want to store. Okay, so for example, in the employee, if I take, okay, so I want to have these fields. Okay, so what are those fields? I want to have like a employee ID, and then age, available, date of birth, date of joining, email, experience, phone, qualification, designation, salary, sales experience. Okay, these are the fields. Field label nothing but field name. Okay, field label nothing but field name. Okay, what type of field? So in that field, what type of data that we are going to be enter, the system will accept. That is what data type. Okay. And then mandatory means, if you want to make the field as a mandatory means, for example, if you go to the app, when you try to save a record, it will not save. It says the field called mandatory. Wherever you see the star mark, that is a mandatory. So those has to be filled up. So without filling up, if you are trying to create a record, it will not allow you to create a record. Okay. And then any values has to be passed. Values means, for example, if it is a pick list, let's say you want to select Mr. and Miss. These are the pick list. Okay, means you will have a list of values. From this, the user can select any of the value whichever you want. Okay, and then the values also the client will give you what pick list do you want to have, and the description why you are creating this field, and the field type. So fields are two types. So one is a standard, another one is a custom. Okay. So standard means whatever Salesforce has been provided to us. So custom means according to the requirement, whatever we are going to be create, it comes under custom. Okay. So we will try to create these fields in coming class, next class. So any questions till now? Let me know. Any questions? So we don't need to worry what type of field that we have to. They will give the field like, but the data type we have to decide. Okay. That I will tell you in tomorrow class how you can decide the data type. But the requirement the client will give us. Okay, what type of field that he is expecting. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts? Any questions? So till now we talk about from the day one, the demo, and then we talk about creating a practice environment, and then we talk about the basic navigation, and then later we talk about the currency and everything, right? The basic settings, and then licenses part, and then later we talk about how to create an app, right? So after creating an app, we talk about what are the standard objects are available for sales cloud and service cloud, right? And we gone through what are the standard object for sales cloud: campaign, lead, account, contact, and opportunity. So we explain those by taking an example, and then we talk about the custom objects, whatever needed. Service Cloud, Case, Account, and Contact. Now, today we talk about according to project, what kind of standard objects and custom objects that we want to have. That also we discuss. And if you want to have custom object means it should be able to generate a record by defining your fields. Okay. So finally we decided we want to have these standard and custom tables. Now if you want to use these tables in an app means we have to create a tab. Okay. That also we have seen how to create a tab. What is an importance of a tab? Okay. And then we introduce about the data types, the field. Okay. So the fields and all will create tomorrow. Any questions till now today? Any questions? Everyone got the recordings?
Yes, thank you. So far, yes. Okay, all the time.
Yeah. Others, any questions? Okay. Okay then. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.